So more than a dozen students from the Bronx recovering this morning after a bus crash in upstate New York.
Plus, there is an investigation into a shooting that claimed the life of a beloved community member. Bronx Borough President Vanessa Gibson is here to fill us in on those details. So great to have you here once again.
Thank you again.
I do want to begin with this accident near Lake George yesterday that we've been talking about. It's a school trip. So how many students were injured there? What exactly went wrong?
So we're still trying to get all the details, but certainly I send my love and my prayers of healing and strength to all the students that were involved. We understand there was some sort of a trip with multiple high schools in the Bronx, chaperones, teachers, the bus operator, and there was some sort of a crash in Warren County near Lake George. And the Warren County Sheriff's Office responded, the American Red Cross, and obviously emergency personnel. There were a few minor injuries, no one seriously injured, and thankfully no fatalities. And so we're trying to get more details through the New York City Public Schools, the governor's office, obviously, to find out which high schools were associated with this trip and to reach out directly to those principals and superintendents.
Yeah, so we still don't know who's at fault right there.
Correct,
right. Let's move on and talk about what happened in Mott Haven last week on Thursday. It was a innocent bystander who was shot. We're talking about 78-year-old Edgar Spence. Folks called him Grandpa in the neighborhood. What happened there, and do we have any indication on whether there's been an arrest or close to an arrest?
So first, we know that Mr. Spence was not the intended target. Let me be very clear, a 78-year-old man who was a prominent member of our South Bronx community, lived in Mitchell houses, very well loved, lived with his granddaughters, and you know, we learned about a shooting. Obviously, that's PSA 7, and we were notified that night. He was at some sort of a barbecue in the community, maybe with family, friends, and loved ones, and there was some sort of a shooting, and he was right in the center, sitting on the bench in front of his building. And very, very troubling, very disturbing. It broke my heart because that's everyone's grandfather, right? His granddaughters, his son, devastated. We were able to reach out to the family on Friday, helping obviously victim services to make sure that his family is taken care of. And we're going to be hosting a candlelight vigil this week in his honor, because no one should lose their grandfather in that way. The vicious cycle of violence continues, and I think it's a call to action and attention. The investigation is underway. So far, there are no suspects in custody just yet, but you know, the finest detectives in NYPD, we will obviously get them, but we're also asking residents of the community, if they saw anything, to please call the Crime Stoppers number.
But what does that say overall about public safety? I know the crime within the NYPD in the 5 boroughs is down, but homicides and murders in the Bronx in particular up in the first couple months of this year compared to 2025. So have you met with the commissioner or anybody from the NYPD to kind of talk about a game plan specifically for the Bronx?
Absolutely. We've met with the commissioner and our borough chief, Ben Gurley. I meet with all 12 commanding officers. And as you know, during the state of the NYPD a few months ago, Commissioner Tisch announced that there will be a split for the borough. We are right now one patrol borough of 12 precincts. And in the next few weeks, we will be split into Bronx North and Bronx South. Each patrol will have its own leadership of a 2-star chief, as well as 1-star chiefs, and its own set of officers and managers assigned to the 6 precincts in the north and the 6 in the south. And that will give us a tremendous amount of resources, more officers, more civilians, more officers, detectives, sergeants, and lieutenants, which is a big deal. The Q teams, we have the full force command that comes out of the Mola Bay Plaza. We are working very closely with leadership to make sure that we have a game plan in place. It's only April, and we need to be ready.
Okay, let's talk about what happened yesterday. Mayor Zohran Mamdani meeting with the former president, Barack Obama, in the Bronx. I mean, wow, first of all, that's a huge meeting there. What did you think about that visit? And also wondering how you feel about how the mayor is doing in his first 100 days.
Did you go?
I did not go to the visit with President Obama and Mayor Mamdani, but I was very excited to see our South Bronx children show the former president what we're all about, as well as the mayor. And it was so cute, you know, the singing, but also the interaction. And I want to shout out the teachers and the educators at the South Bronx Early Child Care Center, because nothing is greater for us than investing in early child care. And that's what our mayor believes in, the 2K initiative rolling out. We're going to get that this fall in the Kingsbridge community, and that's a big deal in District 10. And I think the mayor's doing very good. He's responsive, he's engaging. 100,000 potholes repaired is great, but I said to the team, there's 100,000 more that need to be done, right? And we know that this is an ongoing issue for just inclusive. New Yorkers want to be involved in a lot of this work. So
what grade would you give the mayor?
So, I don't do grades,
but
I would say the mayor is doing very good, and I think he has to keep going, though. I think because New York, we see it being unaffordable, and it's a part of his affordability agenda, but also I think, just the connections on the ground and showing up, the town halls and just the visits, all of that really matters.
Did you know about the visit with the president? Some people said it was a little too hush-hush, that it was not well known or well publicized. It wasn't on his schedule.
It wasn't on his schedule. It was hush-hush because I'm sure the, security clearance with the former president, but no, I was not aware.
Okay.
That's okay. But big time, big things are coming to the Bronx. We're having Bronx Week
2026. Yes, the Bronx leads is our message. We want to lead in tourism as a global destination and a tourist location. And now Bronx Week coming back, reactivating. It's actually 2 weeks now, Friday, May 1st through Sunday, May 17th. And the website is ilovethebronx.com. We have an incredible amount of events from Veterans Day appreciation to the silent disco, a skating party, an ode to Skate Key, right, back in Arlington. We have a health fair, we have the Walk of Fame, we have the People's Choice Award, we have the Bronx Bowl, the Food and Arts Festival, the concert.
Who is being inducted into the Hall of Fame?
We have 4 distinguished inductees.
Okay.
And we also have a new People's Choice Award winner that is in the culinary arts category.
We want names.
We can't give you names yet. You have to come to the press conference on April 27th, of which PIX is a media sponsor. So thank you for that.
Because we are media, so give me one name right now. Can you just give me one name? Oh, come on. Nobody's listening.
Everyone's listening.
It's just us. I know. It's just
From
us.
not happening to 2 weeks. That's great.
Yes. We love the Bronx, and it's a legacy over 50 years, and we want to honor that tradition.
Wonderful.
The natives and everyone that lives and works in the Bronx. It really makes the Bronx the beautiful place that it is. Even though we face challenges, the Bronx has a lot of talent, a lot of promise, a lot of potential, and that's why President Obama and the mayor came, and I see that just partnership growing even more.
Wonderful. Bronx Borough President Vanessa Gibson, great to have you here this morning.
Thank you.
Marisol Castro's from the Bronx. If you want to induct her, I'll be there for that. Okay. All right, we'll be right back.